got three things happening today. The major event, we need to swap out our steering rack. It's going to be entirely changed out. To make that easy, I'm going to drop the engine out. That is not on the to-do list. But I have a brand new oil pan and I have brand new rear brakes that are going to go on the car. So in doing that, I'll bleed the brakes on the entire car while we're at it. So yeah, first things first, the motor's coming out. Is anyone else seeing the similarities that are here? These are lined up almost perfect. The start and end of our rubber boots are almost perfect. And honestly, I think the thread pitch might even be the same. If they're not, they're off by a size. But yeah, the only difference I'm seeing, obviously there's like 1.5 inch length here. So the ball joint is all the way back here, and this one's all the way up here. So we're probably gonna get less bump steer out of this as well. We can do little cut skis and adapt, but I think I'm gonna try and take this tie rod off and put it on here. There's no point in not trying. The way I look at it is if we can get it to attach, maybe we can actually get it aligned and working. And then this is like turn of the century for the future, I suppose, of like Rat Rod, Civic, Integra, Del Sol builds, because everyone can just grab a 2000s Ranger rack and just throw it in. Dude, this is absolutely awesome. All right, so I feel like obviously I'd have to take some really good measurements to figure out if that's perfect. But if those are exactly lined up and we come all the way down here, you can't tell me that that isn't pretty close. I feel like I'll take my old tie rods, I'll cut like a ½ an inch off just to give me that grace period. And then these are gonna need shortened. So the threads only go down to about this curve here. Gives me about 1.5 inches. I'm gonna take just a little bit off so that they're more or less bottomed out. But yeah, I think I'm gonna take my measurement from here to the end of that. We're just gonna go ahead and dock it. And then obviously if the tie rod bottoms out before we get there, then maybe we'll have to play with it. But I think that it's literally perfect. You cannot ask for a better like situation, I suppose, because it was never meant to be, but it's kind of like falling into place. Test fit attempt number 1. Oh, dude. Them. How do you keep your domo in such good condition? Me, I literally try to take care of it. I don't normally wear it when I weld. I don't normally wear it when I lay on the ground. Just try to keep my nice hat nice. I did fuck up and wear it welding one time though. Lines from the rack are touching the K-member. So I'm gonna try and heat that up, indentate it a little bit, because these lines are probably gonna have to stay. They loop one end to the other of the rack. I assume somehow they push fluid through the rest of this. But any hoosers, these bolts are pretty much lined up dead center with some of the framing here. I'm just gonna weld and plate the shit out of that. And then we'll work on the steering knuckle. But my plan is to get it hugged close there so I can push it up and back as far as I can. And then we're gonna run it. And we shouldn't have any clearance issues because these bolt holes on each side are where they would be a subframe brace across here. So I'm hoping there isn't clearance issues with all of this. But I've been wrong in the past. So I guess we'll find out here shortly. All right, guys, long story short, if anyone else decides to try this, that literally hooks straight up to the knuckle from the factory column. So there was no extension or shortening of this. Only thing is I had a manual, okay, not this one. So these are from a manual rack. Notice the bolt hole is probably the size of my pinky. If I flip it around, it's about the size of my pinky. Well, this is a power steering rack. You can see that the hole is significantly larger. This almost fits perfectly over that rack, which means you can use this alignment hole on that rack. So if you get this exact steering knuckle for the actual Honda Civic with power steering, you can slip joint this on the column and then slip it straight onto the rack, and then you're basically just straight up good to go. So all you got to do is mount your rack at that point, and this is almost as straightforward as it's ever going to get. Obviously, if you took the time to do all the welding and got this far, what is putting this rack in? It's 2 seconds of time. You just know now that you need to do it before you finish the car, and then you don't have to pull your motor back out. So that should be easy. On that note, I can throw my engine back in. The steering works correctly. So we turn right and we actually go right. We turn left, we actually go left. Now that that's done, I need to take care of this leaky oil pan. When it was on mint green, I ran over some bicycles and one of the pedal rods went through it. And my temporary weld fix burn through leak oil problem has not been solved yet. So yeah, new oil pan. But on another note of a little bit more beneficial thought here, check out the link in my bio. We have stickers and we have shirts. Buy something, support the channel. We'll build cooler cars. Much love. See you guys on the next one. The only thing left to do is bleed brakes, but we're in store. Max Speeding Rods sent me a brake bleeding kit. So I think it is number 5. We can just throw it on there and bleed these brakes by myself. We have a B16 distributor, one of the CRV distributors, an EK bracket for mounts, and then silicone hoses as well. All complimentary from Max Speeding Rods as part of our sponsorship. This is in addition to like 9 other parts that they have sent me. I told them that I wanted parts stocked on the shelves so that we don't have to wait, we can get right into our projects. Now, unfortunately, this kit wasn't necessarily like set up. You know, I don't understand this. I don't know why they don't have some sort of pressure regulator, but I'm going to adapt an air hose over to this valve. And then on that, I will plug in a regulator and I will set this down to like 20 PSI because I don't want to overcharge my system. There's a one-way check valve in here, so nothing comes back out. You guys know I wouldn't lie to you. So I did bleed my brakes in like 3 minutes. If you're not very like capable, don't order it. If you have a little bit of a head on your shoulders, probably make it work. And it actually does its job. I open a valve, it's pouring fluid on the floor. I mean, it's not like shooting across the room, but it was dripping quickly. And all my brakes are done.